Hey, what's up, guys? It's Richie. Hope everyone's doing really good. I know we're getting close to Christmas, so sometimes there's a lot of stress. Some people love the holidays, some people hate them. I'm kind of somewhere in between. But anyways, guys, I wanted to make a video today talking about some of the things I like about America more than Asia. So on my past few videos, I've talked a lot about why I like Asia more than America, but it's kind of heads and tails. There's things I like about both. And I've had the opportunity to live a large portion of my life in Asia. And of course, I've spent even more time in my home country, the United States. So let's talk about the first thing, and that is definitely freedom. Now, I know that America probably doesn't have the amount of freedom that we kind of say we do. Like, that's kind of our slogan, right? Like, land of the freedom, right? And it's not really true because, I mean, certainly there's a lot of things you can't do here. I would say there's a lot of censorship going on, and the principles of our freedoms of speech have kind of been suppressed a little bit. But with that being said, out of all the countries I've been to in the world, I would probably have to say that America has the most freedom as far as like what our First Amendment says, right? Like, we don't always follow it, but at the end of the day, you can fight for your rights in America, and we should be able to say whatever we want, have the religion that we want, be able to express media like this right now. And basically, that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And you kind of feel this sense of reassurance of you're not doing something that's going to get you in trouble, because in Asia, a lot of the things that you say, even when I make YouTube videos, I have to be cautious because there's a part of me that thinks, like, if I say something wrong about the country that wherever I'm in at that time, there could be major repercussions. And we've seen that happen to expats, even American expats who have decided to start YouTube channels in a country that's not theirs and find out that the interpretations of the Constitution is different in country to country. And so for me, being in my home country, that's really reassuring, right? I feel as if I know what my rights are here, and even if they're followed to the T or not, I still know where I stand with that. And for me, that makes a big impact. Also, when I mean freedom, just like freedom, if I want to go drive my car, across America, I don't have to worry about if I know the rules, do I have to get a license, all this and that. It's just so much more easy. And another thing to kind of tag off of that is, that I've noticed overseas, and this might make some people upset and they might not want to hear it, but at the end of the day, when you're in another country, those people will never truly accept you as one of them. Many countries in Asia, actually I'm pretty sure almost every country in Asia is what you call an ethnic state. And an ethnic state is different than what America is, because an ethnic state is a country that believes there's only one culture and there's only one race, right? Well, they don't believe there's only one race, but really if you're in a country like Japan, right, or China, like there's mainly only Chinese people, so they don't have to bounce around. Our immigration in America, and just like our identity as a whole, has multiculturalism. And in my opinion, that's a good thing in many ways. There's also some downsides of it, especially when we talk immigration. But in Asia, they'll never really truly accept you as one of them. And I've always noticed there's always been this barrier between myself and Asian people. And it's understandable. If you think of ancient Chinese history, like, these countries are so much more old than Europe, America is such a young, new country. We're still developing in many ways, and that disconnect of culture between a Westerner and a Asian person, there will always be that barrier. No matter how close, no matter how much you learn about the language and the culture, they'll never truly accept you as one of them. And that's a hard pill to swallow. For me, it's relieving in some ways, because it's kind of just like, well, I don't really care what's going on. This isn't my politics, whatever. I'm just, tune everything out. But at the end of the day, there is that disconnect. And that's just a fact. That's the one thing that I've really learned from living over in Asia. So let's move on to another thing that really irritates me sometimes about living in a different country, and that is dealing with visas, customs, and immigration, right? So obviously you have to follow the rules when you're in a country that's not yours. And this is legitimate, you should follow the rules, but it is a bit irritating to always feel like you're a dog on a chain. You always feel like whether you're in a country where you have to check in with immigration or you constantly have to make sure you're filling out the forms, which can be incredibly confusing. It's just a bit anxiety inducing, constantly needing to worry about your immigration status. And I feel bad for people, even in America right now, that have to deal with this, because I'll say as an American, America has one of the worst there is. To be an immigrant here, it is a treacherous process. I've seen it personally multiple times, and it is hard. No matter what country you're in, dealing with immigration is a very stressful thing. And being in your home country, no matter where you're from, just eliminates this worry that you constantly have to make sure you're following the rules, So that's something I like about being in America. I don't have to worry about all that stuff. And so another thing about being in America that I'm really grateful for is the opportunity. So of course, the United States has some of the most opportunity in the world. There's a huge market, right? And there's many different paths you can go down as far as a career. And something that happens to you when you leave the country is your opportunities become more limited. Now, I've seen some people in the comment section basically say if you go overseas, you're doomed if you don't have a massive savings account that can lead you or have the opportunity to live the rest of your life without ever needing a job again. That's not true. You can definitely find jobs overseas. There's a ton of opportunities, and we do live in a global economy. It's not 1950 anymore where it's the Industrial Revolution and everyone's trying to get into America. It's not quite the case. But with that still being said, when you're in your own country, it's certainly easier to find opportunities, right? You speak the language, it's your country, the culture, and also America has a lot of opportunity compared to pretty much everywhere. So this is something that I've taken for granted many times in my life. I'll admit that, but now when I reflect and I think back, I know for a fact that I have a lot of opportunity here, and that's something that I am grateful for. So guys, those are really some of the things. Another one is family. For me, and friends, you miss your family, you miss your friends when you're in any country, no matter where it is, when you're outside of it for a long period of time. So there's things like that. The food, I love all food. I love eating food wherever I am in the world. I want to try as much food as I possibly can, right? But there's a couple dishes here in America that I always tend to miss, and it's nice to have when you're back. So those are the main things, guys. So I certainly love Asia. I love traveling, and I love America too, guys. So I'll keep making videos like this too. I want to tell you guys the truth. I want to be non-biased as I can and give you guys my opinions about things. So I appreciate it. If you like my videos, please subscribe, guys. Leave a cool comment if you have something interesting to say, and I'll chat with you guys in the next video.